What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the shop. Now this is part 2 of this Strat body build. We're building it from a piece of ash here. Hopefully no more disasters like in part 1. There is the damage from the router, if you can see it there. Hopefully let's get the camera to focus on that. There you go, you can see how chewed up that is. So we're going to have to put a body carve in here just to eliminate that piece. So it's going to be a Strat-esque type guitar when we're finished, but it's a really nice piece of ash, so I don't want to throw this out. I want to get a good functional guitar out of it. And you know, we can customize it a bit, there's nothing wrong with that. So in this episode, it's going to be about shaping and carving this body. Now, it's not going to be as long as the first episode because it's mostly just sanding and shaping, but I'll take you through it anyway. Hopefully we don't get any more audio problems. I lost a good chunk of the last video. I did a whole bunch of work. I was talking to myself essentially, so please God that doesn't happen again. So we're going to take this to the spindle sander now. No more routing for the outside. We just have to route for our tremolo system, so we have that to do, so we will have to route that out, but we're going to shape this on the spindle sander now and do the rest with the Shinto rasp. So let's get on with it. Right, we have our spindle sander set up on the bench. It's all hooked up to the shop vac, so it's ready to go. We're just going to take the guitar body down to our routed edge. So we have our routed edge here. We just want to take this down to that. You can see just a small little step in it here. So the spindle sander will do that. The beauty of these spindle sanders is you have a nice flat cast iron top, and the spindle itself runs exactly at 90 degrees to your top. So once you have a flat surface, you can get a good straight edge perpendicular to the work surface here, which is ideal. I've done a review of this particular machine. It's just a Triton spindle sander before. I'll leave a link in the description down here or up here if you want to check that out. And yeah, I have a full in-depth guitar build series where you can see me using this as well. So I'll leave a link in the description down below for that too. So it's going to be on now, sanding this thing. It's just a very simple process. Keep it moving so that you don't dig in, the cylinder doesn't dig into the guitar body and cause any unnecessary curves. So it's just very straightforward. Just keep the piece moving and the machine will do the rest, as they say. And it's also hooked up to the shock vac, so it pulls all the dust down through here, so it creates very little dust, these machines, which is also a massive bonus. So on with the show. Okay guys, so we have the guitar now sanded all the way around, so we have a good straight edge all the way around our guitar. It's exactly at 90 degrees to our top and our bottom, and that's the beauty of the spindle sander, like I say again. Now I've affixed the template to the back of the guitar, so we're going to route out now for our tremolo system, for the spring cavity. We've aligned everything again with our center lines. Again, make sure center line, center line, center line when it comes to the guitars. Can't stress that enough. I've also just marked a little line here and here for our belly carve, so I can draw that in afterwards when I pull the template off. That'll all be done by hand. So yeah, it's very straightforward. Again, it's just Forstner bits to remove a lot of the material, and then it's a case of just get the router and route it out. Now this is down to 19 millimeters for the back of the spring system. That's roughly 3/4 of an inch, I think. And then we're going to route all the way through for our tremolo bar itself. So that's next. Right guys, there we go. We have our spring cavity for our tremolo bar routed out. Remember, we want to go down 19 millimeters. That's 19 millimeters plus our template. So that's an extra 10. So we went down 29, roughly 28 and 3/4 millimeters, just to allow a little bit for sanding. And our hole has gone all the way through there. So that met on both sides. We didn't have to drill all the way through. We routed from this side and then we routed from this side and they just met up perfectly. So there we go. We're all the way through there. So happy days. And we can remove our templates now. We're done with them. Now it's all going to be hand sanding and hand carving and hand shaping. And this is the part I enjoy the most. Let's do it. Okay, the first bit of carving I'm going to do, guys, is just putting the round over on all the edges, top and bottom. So we're going to work our way around the edge. And I'm just going to round them over. You can use a round over bit with the router. That's how I done it the last time. It's actually quite quick and easy to do. But because I just had some tear out on this, I'm kind of hesitant to use the router again. So I'm going to do it all by hand. So we're going to just rough in our round over with the Shinto rasp. And we will be sanding this, hand sanding, and using an orbital sander and stuff on it anyway. So we will be going over and back with the sander, working on this edge. So we're just going to rough it in with the Shinto rasp. The Shinto rasp, if you have not seen one before, they're a Japanese saw rasp. There you go, there's the make of it there. I think I went through these before, but a fantastic bit of kit. For removing material quickly, these things are just brilliant. And because they're nice and flat, you can keep what you're working on nice and straight too if you want to. But like I say, for carving or anything like that, these things are just fantastic. You've seen me in nearly all my videos of carving. I've used this thing to make axe handles, to carve guitar necks. And yeah, it's just great. So it's literally just work a curve all the way around the guitar. We're just roughing it in for now. Okay, there's our round over roughed in on both sides all the way around our guitar. Just a couple of little pointers. All I used was like a standard round back foil with a flat side on it. And for most of the work then I used the Japanese saw rasp. Now just be careful with these, with the foil and with the rasp. You don't want to be running straight up the guitar. You will leave track marks and you will gouge into the guitar. You always want to be moving at an angle straight across in this kind of a motion, not up the way, because at this point of the build, we don't want to be leaving big track marks. You don't want to be gouging anything out. You don't want to leave tool marks, and you don't want tear out, because you will have to sand that out later, and it's a lot of sanding to get tool marks out. So it's this motion the whole way around the guitar, not straight up, like I said, because you will dig into it. With the curves and the bends, you will need a curved foil to put a curve in a curve, if that makes sense. So in order to round in that curve, you'll have to use the round back part of the foil. Same for in around the horn areas here. It's fairly straightforward. Again, you're moving in a kind of a, I suppose, a horizontal or across the guitar. You're not moving straight up and down because you will just gouge into it, all right? So that's it. That's the round over done. Now we're going to mark out our belly carve, our elbow carve, and we're going to put a carve in here to take out our tear out. That's next. Right, we're just going to mark out our guitar for our carves now. I've just marked where I want my belly carve to start and end, and then I'm just going to freehand in this curve. I like just to freehand it in You can be more exact if you want, but I like kind of an organic process. Let the curve develop in the guitar. What feels right is right when it comes to this kind of thing, I think. Just make sure it's nice and flat and smooth the whole way across when you're done. So I'm just going to rough this in, and then I will work it by hand to where I want it. So roughly. Something like that is what I'm going to go with. So again, you're just eyeballing this. What feels right to you, what looks good to you is what's good. And when it comes to these things, I always find we don't have to be too precise, just so long as our finish is good. And you can see already how nice this grain is coming out on this guitar. When I carve in through this now, you'll see, you'll get all the layers will come into that curve, and it'll look beautiful. So yeah, that's it. And we want to go down roughly half the depth of our guitar in the middle. So I'm just going to, again, roughly get a line across here. So that's going to fade up about that way, and then we're going to drop down about there. Again, I'm not looking for it to be exact. Again, half the depth of our guitar. Nice and on, and then we'll fade it out. So if you can see that there, that's going to be our belly carve. Now, onto our top carve, or our elbow carve. Again, I've marked my start and my finish point here. That's roughly where you want them. There's your center line there. So you're just past your center line for the start of your elbow carve. And that's just a straight line across the guitar. So just going to grab the ruler. From here to here. That's the line we're going to work to. And then again, we're going to come down, see, you keep that on camera, half the distance of our guitar. And just draw in our line all the way around. And again, that's going to fade up to the top. So we will work that by hand. So fade that down there like that. And fade it back up again on the far side. Right, so that's our elbow carve. Now the next thing, what doesn't come on a standard Strat, is this carve to do our tear out. So I'm just trying to think what's going to look the best. I could start from here and take another piece around. I could curve it. I think I don't want to start a separate carve. I was thinking maybe of curving this one around. Would that look interesting? Yeah, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave this until I carve this. And then I'm going to have a look and see that if I might put a curve, start a curve from about this point here around to the edge, and that might look the best. Or I could start it from here. So we have a carve this way and a carve this way. Yeah, let's carve this and then we'll make that decision. Right, there's not much to carving this thing out. It's just a lot of elbow grease and the fantastic saw rasp. You can take this to the bandsaw and take this piece out if you so choose. You can make a jig for doing that. It will save a lot of time. I like to carve things by hand. I just find it a bit therapeutic. I'm a glutton for punishment as well, so yeah, it's just enjoyable to me. And I think it's a much more organic process when you get to carve something out yourself. I'm not trying to build exact replicas. I'm not trying to build an exact replica of a Stratocaster. I'm just trying to build a nice guitar that feels really good. So yeah, so again, this is just all elbow grease. We're going to work from this line to this line, and we're going to start fading it up either side. So we won't go to the full depth down here. We'll start to work that back up. And again, what looks good and what feels good to you when you hold a guitar, when you put your arm against it, that's what's correct, all right? Unless you're building an exact replica, do what feels good, because if the guitar feels good, you'll want to play it, and that's half the battle. So, yeah. It's just elbow grease and dig in. You've seen me do this before on my last guitar build, if you have watched that. That is, of course, and it's just blood, sweat and tears to get this stuff out, but the Japanese saw rasp is an animal of a tool for removing material, so I'll have this done pretty quick. So we'll put this on fast forward, or we might skip ahead. should do it. Right guys, our elbow carve is done. Let's see if I can show you that there now. There you go. And I've decided, as I was doing it, to work this carve around and just take out that tear out. I don't think it looks actually that bad. So that's nice and curved down this way and around. So the curve kind of continues around the bottom of the guitar here. This is just all elbow grease. It's nothing too fancy. It's very straightforward. Our lowest point is just around the bend here, and then you just work back up to your line here like this, nice and flat, using the foil then after the rasp just to feather everything in. Don't forget to round over your edge again once you get down here, because obviously you'll put a sharp edge in this when you're foiling it off. Just round it over it again. And that's basically it. Now it's onto the belly carve. Again, it's the same process. I'm just going to work halfway down the guitar and rise it up on both sides. Our deepest part will be in the middle of the guitar here. Again, it will just be the saw rasp to get most of the material out. Then we'll use the round foil to work in the curve. Then we'll just ensure that it's nice and flat and smooth to the touch all the way across. And then it's about 4 hours of sanding to go. You can see the grain on this guitar is really starting to come out now, so I think it's going to be a really nice guitar when it's done. I might actually keep this one for myself. So I'm going to dye this and oil it like the last guitar. So we'll decide on colours. Let me know in the comments below, what colour should I make this? Should I do like a David Gilmour style guitar or a Jimi Hendrix thing? We might do like a purple haze, or we could do like a midnight kind of a black theme going on. You know, there's loads of things we could do really. So let me know in the comments what you guys want to see, and we might do that. So yeah, it's back to foiling and then on to sanding. Let's get it done. Okay guys, our belly carve is now done. So that's nice and roughed in there. So we've a lot of sanding and stuff to go, but we've just taken it down to our deepest part, which is right here on the bend, and then we just bring it back up to the horn section, and then feather it back up to the tail of the guitar. So yeah, we've a lot of sanding and shaping still to go, but the best part of the carving now and all the kind of hard work is more or less done. So we got to get this ready for finish. So yeah, it's a few hours of sanding now from various grits. So we'll probably go all the way up to 240 grits, something like that, and get it ready for oiling and stuff. So yeah, on with sanding. Right guys, there we go, one complete S-type body or Strat-type body made of a single piece of ash. Really nice grain pattern in it. All our carves are in, our belly carve, our elbow carve, and our interesting little carve for where we had our tear-out problem. So I don't think that looks too bad, if I do say so myself. So the next thing is, what do we do with this guitar? What do you guys want to see with this guitar? Should we make it like a purple haze Jimi Hendrix type thing? Maybe do black, green, and do like a David Gilmour type vibe, kind of controls. What do you want to see? Pickups, control wise, color wise, the sky's the limit on what we can do. I don't like spraying guitars. I like to keep the wood effect because guitars are made of wood and I like to see the wood. So that's the kind of style I go for. We can do a copper pick card again. We can patina that. I can show you how to do that if that's something you want to see. So let me know in the comments below. Where do we go next with this video? It's up to you really. And as always, hit like and subscribe if you've been enjoying this content. Comment below any questions. If I've left anything out, something you want to know, just ask. I'm happy to do a video on it or get back to you in the comment section. So yeah, that's it. We have our single piece ash body. Where do we go from here? I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.